of a South Star, the perfect way to start a video.
It's called the Star of Travelers of the South.
That's a great name. Alex, I think the time is for you to join.
Oh, I was invited.
Alright, so it is the Crazy Man. That was really quiet. Maybe I should make it not quiet.
Well, you should not point my phone up to my face anymore.
Alright, so it is the Crazy Man and Alex Man, and we're gonna try to play Halo Wars while we have a thoughts on video. Let's see how well that goes.
Oh yeah, I have lots of thoughts. Not really.
And we're gonna
lots
talk.
Of thoughts, but then I lost.
And we're gonna talk about Halo Wars 2. Oh yes, oh yes. You guys probably know what direction this is going in.
Well, I really was disappointed when I realized that there was only a few hours left to play the deathmatch game mode, and that I was too lazy to go downstairs and play it.
I was mostly disappointed with all the glitches, but I suppose that we are here to talk about not the glitches, but what we expect from Halo Wars 2 when it finally comes out, and why we were very disappointed with the beta, other than the fact that the beta was just generally disappointing.
Oh yes. Yes, sir. Awesome.
Should probably turn down my actual TV volume.
Well, other than the fact that the game really didn't work, the game was actually quite just less good than mediocre.
I don't know if it's good for an RTS though.
No, I don't know if it is either.
Complete.
I just know that it could have been more disappointing.
I don't know, I mean, I was expecting something that looked like Halo Wars, and then I was disappointed entirely. Because it definitely does not look like a Halo game that has come out thus far, I'll tell you that. Like, if
graphics have been going in that direction, it looks like they had built everything inside of Halo 5's Forge.
yeah, that would be what I would. It looks like if they tried to make a mobile version of Halo 5. Like, it doesn't look like an Xbox game. It doesn't look like it's using the full potential of the Xbox. It just looks like it's vectored.
Yet it's still crappy.
What?
Yet it still managed to not be stable and all around be crappy.
Oh yeah, that was really. I know programming a little bit more now that I've programmed games during this last year, a little bit, and I'm gonna tell you that when games run like that, that's a result of bad programmers and bad programming more than the Xbox not being able to handle it. Like, that's just bad coding right there. There's no other excuse for it. And the thing that scares me is, you remember, Alex, that the original leak for the Halo Wars 2 stuff was that it was going to come out in August? I think that's why they had the beta. I'm starting to think now that the reason that it's when these games make betas, that's because they're pretty sure that there's something fairly wrong with the game that they're making, right? I mean, some other people think it's actually to test things. I doubt it. I think it's because they want to see how much public backlash there is from the beta, you know?
I think that
that would be testing it in a different way. What most people think about is like hardware tests and server tests, and I think that's at the moment in the gaming industry, when a game that was originally supposed to come out in August, leaked to come out in August, has a beta, and then changes its, like, the day that they announced the beta, they changed the release date to the next year in the first month. That means that something is wrong with the game. And I think that the fact that the game had all those glitches in it very much coincides with that theory that I have, you know?
Vehicle depot complete.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that it's the new developer strategy, other than putting RNG elements into the game so that they don't have to develop nearly half of the game. They just get to... the one thing that I did like was that I didn't see anything that had anything to do with I didn't see any RNG loot content in Halo Wars 2, but honestly there wasn't any in the Halo 5 beta, and then they changed the Halo 5 to the point where it was full of that stupid crap, so I don't really think you can trust that yet.
The Rex system for Halo Wars. Yeah, it's a good idea. Great idea.
The other thing that also kind of frightened me is that the beta only had 2 characters unlocked, and they said that there will be characters that are only and vehicles that are only available in DLC. That kind of scares me a lot, and the fact that there's like a season pass for the crap that you can get for Halo Wars 2, that scares me. That makes me feel like there is something that they're just gonna try to make a bunch of money off of this one, rather than spending any time on it at all. You know?
That's very likely. I mean, when's the last time you've seen a game that was actually designed for the consumer?
Inside. That game came out this week.
I don't know of that game.
It's an indie game. Are you talking about like AAA games? Because I think that's a fair point with that.
Well, AAA games, yeah, because it's just unheard of in AAA games.
I mean, like, the only thing that I can really think of is that Halo 05 Forge engine on the PC, but I don't really feel like that's a fair point because Halo 5 is pretty much as dead as it's gonna get right now.
Honestly, I feel like that's a small group within the development team who actually has some sort of empathy towards the community.
That aside, we should probably get back to Halo Wars. The graphics was probably the biggest problem, I would say, that I had with it.
Grungy, although it just froze.
Oh, perfect.
And the new one, I believe we already described it as this, but it looks like it was Forge in Halo 5 with the simple blocks.
Right, which compared to this, the game looks worse than this. Okay, that's bad. All right, that's pretty easy to tell when there's something wrong when the game is less HD than the game than its predecessor on the last console. You know.
It's more HD, but it's also like.
Well, I'm talking about texture-wise.
If there's like a Super HD blank cube or a 240p detail cube's gonna look better. Heck, a 8-bit detailed cube looks better than a frickin' blank ass 1080p 60 FPS cube.
RPG.
Right, which is kind of a problem that Halo 5 had, which is that they went for 1080p 60 FPS and then it kind of flopped out because the problem is that doesn't really go with, is that high graphics don't really ever go with Halo's whole thing. I always thought that Halo's thing was that they would work with even like a absolutely nothing budget to make sure that there are to make sure that every single piece of a game looks like a thing from similar to a thing from real life, you know.
Turret complete.
Yeah, I haven't seen that at all in the recent games.
The design choices are so off. And what do you think about the new enemy, I guess, would be the way that you would call it.
Brutes, I think they're intriguing actually. I don't think there's anything particularly bad about them.
I thought that it was interesting to see the brutes, although I honestly didn't really, to be honest, the brutes are probably the least interesting thing to me in the entirety of the Halo lore, but that's probably because the first game that I played was Halo Reach. That game pretty much entirely focuses on the elites and the way that the whole Covenant works rather than just the species. So I never really was that interested in the individual species, but
The enemy now controls
I
this
like
location.
some of the designs that they had for the I liked some of the designs that they had for the new brute vehicles, but I would have rather liked to see them do the Covenant vehicles well, just the regular ones. So I always thought that the brute vehicles were just shittier versions of the regular Covenant stuff.
You could say that. Yeah, it's definitely more ragtag and unprofessional.
Reactor improved.
Are you talking about like just the general look, or you mean like
Or
the?
the whole idea of the brutes.
All right, yeah, I can agree with that. It doesn't really fit my fancy. It doesn't really, like, to me, it doesn't really show them putting their best foot forward when they show the brutes first for a beta, you know? Because what I like to see is that they've done the Covenant well, and then they've branched off with the brutes. And I don't see that from this Halo Wars beta. It looks like everything's just going to be based off of these new brutes, and that kind of scares me because I feel like they're going to do a lot of really bad design choices. I mean, the first thing that I saw was that weird.
Full clean look with the brutes. It doesn't make much sense.
Well, I thought of the thing that really got me first was that was those pictures of the new vehicles, like that weird ass flying thing that looks absolutely nothing like a Halo vehicle, and that six-legged thing that also looks absolutely nothing like a Halo vehicle, and they've even managed to make the Locust look less like a Halo vehicle than it should. And they've gotten rid of the long-legged grace of it, and now it's just this short, stubby thing that's about the size of a warthog. It's just wrong, you know?
They've got warthogs.
Oh, they blow up my turret.
Yes, they blew up your turret. They're sending warthogs at my base. I should probably like make something to stop warthogs from getting to my base. Oh wait, I already have turrets. I forgot. And what did you think about the new upgraded and resource system? Holy crap! They have scorpions. Oh god.
Medic research.
Why?
You do you over there.
Yeah. I think I might need to spam Marines now. This is not gonna go well. Oh god. Oh my gosh, my base has been frozen.
Why you have one base?
Yeah, well, you know, I wasn't really paying that much attention, and for some reason I thought that a normal AI was going to be easy to fight. That was a mistake, clearly.
I can send my prophet.
Mostly what I'm doing right now is that I'm making the Scorpion shoot at my Marines so that they stop shooting at the base, because the base will kill the Scorpions. It's a really dumb strategy, but, you know, I don't really care. The point of this video is not to make a good Halo Wars video, which is a hard thing to make as far as I know.
I uploaded a Halo Wars video once.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It got just dislikes.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Uh, yeah, the upgrades in the Halo Wars 2 really, it was bad. Like, what I always thought was cool about Halo Wars was that you could make almost all of the units in the game just by building the base that I have like right now. You know, a simple ass base. But in Halo Wars 2, you definitely have to build multiple bases, and there's like all these weird ass upgrades that you have to get, and like you have to spend a lot of time upgrading your base so that your base can make anything. And that really disappointed me because like Halo has always been a little bit about having the fair playing field at the beginning of a game, and I thought that the original Halo Wars, we're playing right now, did that really well. This was like the first RTS game that I've ever seen where if you like, generally speaking, the games can go really fast, and the games, and it's not as much about base building. So in most RTS games, when you screw up at the begin, if you like screw up a little bit at the beginning of a game when you're building your base, you're done for. You're already screwed, you know. But with Halo Wars, it was more of a kind of I don't know. I guess like a introductionary RTS game where you could actually like get into the game because you could easily build a base that could build stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Now I have a completely useless thing sitting on my base.
Feeling fine. I'm on it.
And what did you think about the redesigns of the things that were in the game in the first place?
No. Just as disappointing as all the other design choices that 343 makes. Even if it wasn't their choice, it was their style.
Yeah, obviously we already talked about the fact that they completely fucked over the way that the Locust looked. And they changed the way that of course they changed the Warthog so that it looks like the stupid Halo 4 Warthog that I don't like, and they also changed the Scorpion so that it looks really weird. They actually changed the names of half of everything so I didn't recognize what I was even doing, which is a big problem because the other thing that I like is that the Halo games are simple, so they usually stick with the same names. And that the Halo Wars 2 was way more complicated than a Halo game should be, you know? Like, just that beta showed me that if I ever bought that game in the future, I'm gonna have a hard time playing it because the names of everything has changed. Like the flamethrower unit has a weird ass name, the regular Marines have a weird ass name, the Spartan is a hero now instead of just a regular Spartan, and you can't make more than one of them, and they're really shitty. Like, some people were praising the new Spartan, and I just don't understand that, because, like, having everybody just have heroes, like, every leader have heroes instead of having, like, unique units that work in a special way is really boring, you know? It's like regular RTS games where whatever faction you are just kind of dictates what color you are rather than how you play the game, you know?
Yeah. What is this guy doing?
Like I like RTS games where everything works differently, so that each faction is a new thing that you have to learn.
Alright, you're off to fight your own side now.
Who, what now?
Because my side of the map's being attacked.
I was sending my Scorpion over there since there's nothing better for it to do. And what did you think about the fact that the leader powers were upgrades?
It was interesting. It wasn't, you know, an amazing idea. It wasn't, oh my god, we're ruining the game. but
Enemy attack
I'm on it.
incoming.
I don't know, it just seemed very, like, everything that they changed about the game just seemed very generic FPS-y, you know? Or, sorry, RTS-y.
yeah.
Where it's just like, if I generalize all of RTSs that I've played so far, this is the game that I would get if I had a Halo mod for it, kind of thing. And honestly, I've actually seen Halo mods. I've seen Halo mods for RTS games that are better than Halo Wars 2, you know? That's kind of scary to me.
Going.
Like, when the people that are fans of the game make a better game than the people that are in charge of making the game, then there's a problem to me. Like, 343 would say that that's somehow a kind of progress, clearly, since they like to take all kind... From Halo 5, you could see that they... Basically, half of all the maps were just forged people's maps that didn't do anything with them.
Suits me.
What?
My fucking remote won't stay on for half a second.
Oh, that's nice. Well, you have a Scarab.
Yes, I do. I have to change batteries now.
I think that the last thing that we could talk about was the map design. I mean, this probably isn't going to be a fair analysis of the map design yet, because it was just a beta, but
Only one map that you ever played.
I really thought that the one map that we played was really bad. Like, it was, for one thing, it was an asymmetrical map, which is like one of the worst things ever for a Halo Wars map, because it makes everything confusing.
I thought
And
it was symmetrical.
you could, no, it wasn't. Remember,
It was symmetrical in a different way.
On the way.
it was the fact, okay, the problem with it was that both teams were on the same side of the map, and if you ever happen to have built, like, say, a flying unit, you could just fuck over the other team immediately before they could do anything. And that's what I would say is that might be fine for, like, well, no, that's not really fine for a team deathmatch even. Like, that didn't make any sense to me, because the game mode that they first had was that stupid game mode where you capture the bases.
Ridiculous game mode too.
I'm there.
What?
That was just a ridiculous game mode too.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous game mode to start out with. It should have been team deathmatch, but anyway, what I thought was really offensive about that map
I'm ready.
to me was that because it was asymmetrical, you could do what people do in team deathmatch, where they kill each other, and basically, like, if you knew how to play the game, because the game was so, that game is so unfairly set up,
I won't say
is that you
killing
could
was an
build.
issue. I mean, I saw a person do full-on attacks, maximum number of scorpions, not be able to blow up one base, and the bases didn't even have health.
Oh yeah, that was weird. Wait, you mean like the base itself didn't have health, or you mean like
Yeah,
the
there wasn't
bases?
a health bar.
Oh god. Ugh. I can see that once again I am stuck doing nothing in a Halo Wars game.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing?
Sitting at one base, pretty much.
Reactor improved.
I guess I can do something.
I'm there.
I can do something now that they blew up all the scorpions for me.
I'm on it.
I just saw, like, barely anything recognizable from regular Halo games, and, you know,
You got
bad design, bad map design, bad graphic design. The menu was horrible. It reminded me of the Master Chief Collections menu a little bit, because there was just a thing in the background, and then every button stopped working after you pressed it in the menu. And oh yes, we haven't talked about the new Captain Cutter yet, because it's clearly not the old Captain Cutter.
I'm ready. You got it.
Well, apparently it's more similar to the actual lore, but I don't really think that matters.
On the way.
Well, I don't really think that matters as much. I mean, Bungie always strayed from the lore when it went with consistency in between games. I mean, I would rather go up. I would like consistency between our games rather than just this random shit where it's like, oh, Captain Cutter all of a sudden is 20 years younger, and he has a beard for some reason. I can understand the beard, but like the 20 years younger thing, like what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
That was altogether confusing to me. Like, I'm a Halo Wars fan, and that game did not get me excited for a Halo Wars sequel, which is sad, because Halo 5 got me excited for itself a little bit. And like even Halo 5 and Halo 4 got me excited to see what they would do next, even though it was probably going to be shit, and I already knew it was probably going to be shit.
Send me in. Going. I'll get it.
Like, it's pretty hard for a Halo game to be able to fail at making an interest in itself, and that one really did it for me.
Away.
Kaboom! I mean, it basically just played like any other RTS game could play like, and that disappoints me because Halo Wars is a game that doesn't play like normal RTS games.
I mean, it was different in the way that it was a lot faster paced, but that was mostly because the game was so freaking short.
No, I kind of found that the fact that it was faster paced was a detriment because it didn't give me any time to figure out what the fuck was going on because everything had been relabeled and the upgrade system was completely different. The base system was also completely different, you know. There's a lot to throw at people that are expecting something familiar, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Alright, so this has been a Thoughts on Halo Wars 2 video, and we actually won somehow. So.
Yeah, they completely destroyed everything.
And I didn't do anything. Oh, it's just like a regular Halo Wars match. Alright. And I think that we will see people next time. Right, Alex? Probably not.
Alright.